When you said about need to write another single or do this, when you're constructing a live performance, a set, there's a shape that has to be taken into consideration. There's overall balance of sort of keys and tempos and all that sort of stuff.
And it's hard, especially when you've got loads of material, then it's really hard, because there's songs, like some of my favourite songs that I've ever written, I haven't played live for years because I just can't fit them in. Just run out of space.
But are there songs that you've written because you need a certain type of tune as well?
I mean, that's kind of what the last album was designed to do. It was to fill a kind of gap that I saw in the set from the touring from the year before. So I did a bunch of tours, and by the end of the set, everyone was jumping, which was awesome. And I was like, that's like the most fun bit, and I've just got going, and now I have to stop. So I was like, maybe it's time to do some bigger stuff and do some stuff with massive drums and bass and other instruments, and start kind of basically imagine that the end of the set was like in the middle, and then you stayed there until the end, which is so the whole album was based on kind of live principles and rhythmical principles. The other thing that drove the whole thing was I had this one slightly bizarre image in my head of kind of standing like halfway up a hill in Glastonbury and being able to hear like 4 bands, and thinking, what would make me have to go there over going to the other tents? So everything has these I think that's why it came out kind of quite tribal, because I think it's those kind of tribal, visceral things in terms of like drum sounds and kind of vocal hooks were all like, there was some very kind of Asian sounding melodies, some kind of heavily pentatonic stuff, and some kind of African stuff, and some kind of almost like kind of Native American like influenced kind of vocal lines, because I think that's kind of what I perceived grabbing me from a distance, being like, what is that? That sounds like kind of some kind of apocalyptic futuristic band. Let's go on there. And it was, that's kind of what drove the writing for the whole last album was live stuff.